Alright. So, that was fucking stupid, to say the least. All I need to find is chlorophyll. That's it. That is it. I find chlorophyll, I'm good. Bro, you're actually kidding me. And I didn't even get to it in time. Shit. Once again! Alright. I'm literally gonna die because of this. Yep, I'm dead. Nope, I'm dead. I'm gonna die trying to hack this shit, man. What the fuck? No! I was literally right there at it, dude. Nah, there's no point. I'm gonna fucking kill myself doing this. There's only one way you can go with this. And that's not a way that I am going with it. Dude, not. No, yeah. There's no way I'm doing this, man. Maybe. Maybe. I got it! Yay! After how many times? And then, okay. Perfect way to start it. No, that's the perfect way to start this. I literally just killed myself. Nope. I'm dead. I'm dead. Literally, I saw this shit fucking coming, dude. How many times am I gonna do that? It's not there. It's not there. It's not that one. Where the fuck is that safe? Wait, no, it was this way. Yeah.
I heard that.
Woe be unto you!
Here it is. Alright.
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
Nope, they were the other way. Yep, right through here. Down this way. Alright.
Rumor is the tool of the past.
Is this what you want?
Thanks, Big Daddy. Wait, can I hack him? But you're the one from before. You were the one from before. I had to get my revenge. Thank you. I love this hypnotized Big Daddy. It is the best thing that could have ever been in this game. Don't you run away from me. You're mine till the end of time. Come on.
They make me in everything I see. They make me in everything I see. They make me in everything I see. I'm trying, Mr. Ryan. Please don't judge me. Please.
Where did I just get damage from?
I do what I'm told. I just do what I'm told. I always just do what I'm told. Fuck. Where? It's my life. Mine.
Ah, that's what it was. Alright. Oh, it's up there. Alright. No, you don't. You are not getting away from me, dude.
Away from your life.
Thanks. Where is the last chlorophyll? You good? Huh? In-depth discussion of plot details, including the ending. Oh. Um. So I'm. So this is my dilemma. I love spoilers, but actually this game has been out for a while, so if you're watching this now, you probably already seen the ending, so I'm just gonna...
Nailing the perfect marriage of story to gameplay is a science that many developers still struggle with today. BioShock has left an indelible mark on gaming narrative that can be seen and felt in many modern releases, but Irrational's motto remained from the beginning, don't start with the story, start with the gameplay.
And this also shows me what I'm doing wrong, so... Why it's so hard for me to play this game. I love the game,
A lot of
it's
fans probably
just...
wonder
I don't
about
know.
the process you go through in writing the story and the design for a game like BioShock. You've talked about how it evolves over time and what eventually ships is very different than your initial vision. Do you guys write like a script or a design document for the game and that becomes sort of the Bible that everyone drives towards, or do you iterate much more?
It's different for every game. Like System Shock 2, I went back to it recently. I wrote a design document, and like we started that project in September, and the design document I saw was dated like October or something. So like in a month, like I wrote the
Wait.
design document, and it didn't change. A lot of it, got expanded upon, but the basic design really didn't change on that. Where on BioShock, I think it evolved in real time much more. Like we had a pretty substantial design shift like a year before the ship date.
For BioShock?
BioShock, yeah. It got to be much more about the experience of being in Rapture than about being in your character sheet. And so the game evolved more towards that experiential kind of thing and making sure every idea was expressed in the world as well as just on your character sheet. So before you'd have a lot of things like, oh, I'm doing fire damage or electrical damage, but that was sort of a number flying off ahead versus, the whole notion of like, you know, there's barrels and you light them on fire and then
I
you
was
can pick them
about
up
to
and throw
say,
them.
But you got
he
stats
looks
from our
like Adam
characters,
Levine,
Much more
and
so.
he has the
And that
same
evolved,
last name.
sort of
But they're
when
not
we did the
related.
design shift. But I don't know how well that got documented. I think we were moving so fast that we were just sort of changing things, laying down the tracks as we went right ahead of us. And the same with the screenplay. The screenplay there is no screenplay. It's a bunch of, probably Excel files and fragments of Word documents that I'd write. I'd go to recording sessions and I'd rewrite on the fly once I hear the actor perform. Because once the actor takes on it, you listen to their voice and you say, what you wrote doesn't really matter. Like, what is the right thing for this actor playing this role to be saying? So I tend to do a lot of rewriting in the session, and then like you have a bug late at night where somebody says, "Oh, this doesn't make any sense," and you're like, "Oh God," you have to write a new audio log and try to get the actor back in, or you figure out what's the best way to get this idea across. And is it an audio log? Is it a poster on the wall? Is it a piece of text that pops up on the screen? That's always dependent on how much time you have and what actor availability is. So, the plans sort of fall apart. I think we've worked on that a bunch since on the new project we're working on, where we are trying to document things a lot better and keep things a lot more logical. But the train was running so fast on BioShock that we just sort of.
And early on, we got the Andrew Ryan scene in, like we'd said before, and that was kind of like the keystone. Like, we're going to put a lot of work into this, so this can't change. Everything that happens before or after that don't really involve a lot of departments working together to make a scene, those things are very malleable. And if you need to change audio logs to represent a story, if you need to add lines or take away lines, that's very doable. And I think for a while we even had like text to speech.
We even did that, I remember for Infinite with Booker and Elizabeth and all their dialogue, and that really didn't work very well because you'd have these dramatic scenes, and it'd be like, Elizabeth, we need to go to Comstock, and it just, it was almost had no value as far as I was concerned.
Atlas radio on ahead says you were looking for an invite to the fisheries. Nuts, I say. But if you heads up to the Wharf Master's office and find old Peach a research camera, maybe I could manage an invite.
Ken has so much of, these games in his head, and you're sort of, you can keep it all straight, or try to, with all the different things and changes. But from the team perspective, Sean, because this is evolving and Ken's thinking in his head about how this all ties together, How does the team sort of keep up with, what the whole game's going to look like?
There's a lot of specifics that can change. For instance, Atlas used to have a Southern drawl.
Right.
And then, we recast to the Irish.
And we actually cast an actor, wrote the lines, did the whole thing, and realized that people hated that character and distrusted him from the first start. So we had to rewrite him, recast him, redo everything.
Yeah. From a team perspective, you kind of get a sense on which things are going to be really volatile and that you probably want to push off till later, because if you work on it now, it might change. Larger themes don't tend to change too much, meaning we knew we were in Rapture, we knew we had Big Daddies, we knew we had Little Sisters, we knew we had Splicers, we knew what the arc of the story was about Jack coming into Rapture, and the specifics of this radiolog versus that radiolog didn't really affect anyone outside the audio team at that time, because we could still build the environment. We still knew what the environment was. We still knew what the animations were. There are areas you learn just by working in the same space for a while that this scene, I'm not touching this yet because I know that it's going to get changed a lot. I think these themes are pretty nailed down, so I'm going to focus the team on getting these things done.
I won't leave you twisting in the wind. We're gonna need to draw her out of hiding, but you're gonna have to trust me.
The audio logs were, a great part of the game, and something that if you're a true fan, people really go in and listen to those and piece that all together. But I imagine there's a lot of work that goes into deciding, well, this is better for an audio log versus game dialogue, and there's the act of sort of cutting back and sort of saying, we need to be clear about what the narrative is for the game. What was that process like? The audio logs, were there things you added at the end, or were those, ideas that you had for the game, but then said, hey, maybe we'd demote these a little bit and make them audio logs?
As Sean was saying, there's sort of a hierarchy of expense that you have to face, and so any ideas you have to get across, especially as you start playing the game, you realize, well, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. You have to figure out how you can introduce that idea. And generally, as the train is moving, you try to think of cheaper and cheaper ways to get those ideas across. If it's less important, it goes to an audio log. If it's less important, it goes to a poster on the wall.
Well, there's also characters that you can bring in that have audio logs that aren't. Atlas, Tenenbaum, those are your big ones. You can bring in somebody to do a short, a few different audio logs. It's a character that some players may not even find, but it adds a little bit of depth to Rapture.
And it also, usually each character generally is about a certain idea, and we don't just sort of come up with characters, we have an idea problem that we need to solve, and so let's introduce a character who's this guy, and he will be the guy who sort of shepherds you through that idea.
Julie, my dear, I am trying to run a business here. You want to spend time with my honeybees? Well, I'm going to have to start charging you for the pleasure. If I come out one more time and find you lolling out there amongst my hives, I'm grabbing my shotgun. As to your question, yes, my days in beekeeping school are a blur. But I do seem to remember something about that enzyme you keep blabbing on about.
So as you're going through the game and, writing things, rewriting things, were there things with the original BioShock that you've always been surprised that more people didn't pick up on, or was there something that, a connection to a character you thought was really going to resonate with people, which, didn't? Anything like that?
No, it's the opposite. I was amazed, I don't know how you felt, but I was amazed how many people connected to the Would You Kindly stuff. Because I think it was when I wrote that speech, I don't think anybody on the team was like, oh my God, this is really this or that. And I don't think I really had any sense that people were going to connect to it. I think we ended up sort of over time finding more ways to support the notion throughout the game.
Yep.
And I don't think I really, until I heard Pat put together the revelation moment, whereas where you had all the bits that Atlas had said to you in the past building up, and then there was a visual that went along with that. That's when I realized it was going to be a really powerful moment. But even so, I still did I think people were really going to connect to it or really even understand it? Because it's pretty out there. And that it was meta commentary too. I think that completely, I think I thought oh, it's kind of meta, cool. But people connected to it in a much bigger way.
Yeah, the choice to age and everything, and also just, being able to kind of roll back and think of all those other moments throughout the game. And so, a great revelation like that, they're few and far between in games where you sort of then you want to play it again, you're just oh wow, really, that does all make sense, right?
Yeah, I think as a team, we were definitely proud of what we had done. But up till that point, SWAT 4 was the biggest game that we worked on, and we had no expectation of that anybody would pick this up. Or even BioShock cosplay. I remember the first cosplay I saw with the guy in the Big Daddy suit, and his little daughter was in the kitchen cabinet. I think that was the first one I saw. I was like, what? Whoa, people know this stuff? That's insane.
Yeah, people were building these outfits, and that only expanded with Infinite. I mean, that sort of went crazy with Infinite, with people cosplaying Elizabeth and Luteces and Booker. It meant a lot to people, and I don't think that's something we ever saw coming, and we're deeply grateful for it, because it's one thing to make a game and get good reviews and stuff like that. It's another thing to have things that people are having their weddings themed around it, and their tattoos and naming their children after characters. You can't plan for that, and I think the only way that could happen is if you just make something that you're deeply in love with and passionate about. I can say we were. It was something there's a lot of passion on the team about, but we didn't know people were gonna take away what they did.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Part of the challenge with that, though, is when people love fiction so much and they dive into every word written in every audio log and try and connect all the fiction, make sure it all makes sense.
Wait.
Are there anything from that game that you sort of look back and it's like, oh,
So
wow,
was I
you
right
explained
not
this
to
and should
trust
have, or things that
Atlas?
fans have misinterpreted over the years?
There are things we think that we did that should have or shouldn't have been in the game. Like I was never a fan of having two endings, and I think
That's where the publisher was asking you to sort of have
that was the
right?
one thing that 2K, and they were very hands off. That was the one thing they insisted on, and it's not something I really thought was a good idea, because they're still limited. Even though they're multiple, they're still limited. And so that was something that we ended up doing. One of the endings was far better than the other one. I mean, it's clear that I was much more interested in the happier ending with the little sisters than I was with the nuclear submarine ending.
I'm sure part of it was the idea that this game is, if you're making a choice throughout it, I'm sure when some people are like, oh, well, then it has to be a payoff, right?
Right, except the game was really about lack
There
of
was no
choice.
choice. Yeah,
About
right,
not
yeah,
being
yeah.
a choice. So
Yeah.
that always struck me as a tension. That was weird, but look, at the end of the day, they were putting up a lot of money, and so I can't really complain. They weren't dictatorial at all during the development. So that was the one thing, but that's a game that I wouldn't have put the boss battle in, the final boss battle. Like we seem to end up doing that over and over and over again. Every time we start a project, I'm like, I'm never going to do that again. We're never going to do that again, and we end up doing it.
Right.
We're not good at boss battles, and that you're fighting that guy, and look, this is the naked dude. It just doesn't work.
Totally makes sense.
But and it works pretty well up till then.
Am I gonna not be able to record
That
this?
boss battle's silly.
Naked dude. Oh, okay. Whoa. That scared the hell out of me. Alright, I am excited for the ending now. Yeah. I have no Adam. Alright. I mean Eve. Oh shit! I didn't even realize this. Alright. So I need one chlorophyll. Wait. A group of teleporting splicers. Oh! I get chlorophyll from looting. Okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I need one more chlorophyll. Alright. Maybe I should have read that earlier.
What is the greatest lie ever created? What is the most vicious obscenity ever perpetrated on mankind?
They should just allow me to buy the chlorophyll.
Welcome to the circus of value.
I have the chance. I have the chance. I can't believe I just killed him with a fucking crowbar.
Welcome to the circus of comeback when you get some money, buddy.
I actually cannot believe I just killed him with a fucking crowbar. That's actually pretty funny. I'm not hacking that. No. Alright, so I've already searched them. I've searched you. Damn. Alright.
Any leak is a bad one. Report any unexplained water products.
Ah, that's why the door wouldn't open earlier. Oh my god, you scared me. Yeah, that was why I was dying that other time. I've got the time. Go. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna just let him take care of that. Alright, thank you. Now where's that? Ah. Right there. And then... I really need to find the chlorophyll. Where is the fucking chlorophyll at? I know I have to loot splicers to find it, but how can I fucking loot splicers? Let's see here. I switched to my electro and it didn't work. I'm almost positive. I'm almost positive.
Hey!
Bro, why is it so hot in here?
better a woman gets used to.
Only the work of all the people. All the people. Only the work of all. I can't imagine. You could only know the work. For a man could see the brilliance of his own mind, the strength of his own muscles, the might of his own will.
Andrew Ryan asks you a simple question. Are you a man or a slave?
Welcome to the Circus of Value! Feel your craving for the Circus of Value!
What gives me the part? Ugh.
Dr. Suchong, frankly, I'm shocked by your proposal. If we were to modify the structure of our commercial plasmid line as you propose, to have them make the user vulnerable to mental suggestion through pheromones, would we not be able to effectively control the actions of the citizens of Rapture? Free will is the cornerstone of this city. The thought of sacrificing it is abhorrent.
Is that someone now?
However, we are indeed in a time of war. If Atlas and his bandits have their way, will they not turn us into slaves? And what will become of free will then? Desperate times call for desperate measures.
parasite. Fontaine is dead. Rapture lives.
Hey, Mary, everything okay?
Did you hear that Andrew Ryan took control of Fontaine Futuristics?
Feel your craving to the circus of... Welcome to the circus of value!
Sorry, Jim, but I'm real upset. We came to Rapture to get away from government muscling in on private business people.
Sure thing, Mary. But Andrew Ryan take control of anything. The government council just assumes stewardship on the futuristics. All of the Red Fontaine crimes, betrayals against the people of Rapture are sorted out. Pretty soon, everything will be back to normal.
Wait on my shoulders.
Would you like? What's that? No! I will execute judgment!
Hey fella, don't you want to take a look at me?
I'm trying, Mr. Ryan. Please don't judge.
Mom?
Nobody!
right you invent. I'm guessing you're the proud papa of a brand new Lazarus Vector. Now drop the Vector into a gadget called the Central Misting Control. Then we'll be cooking with gas.
Rapture was my second excellence. In 1990, I fled a country.
A rapture reminder. The bottom of the ocean is our home, but it can also be a dangerous place. Any leak is a bad one.
I'm sorry, Bob. I'll do what you say. I send you live!